Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your match preview show. I am once again back in the chair. It is great to be with you. Thank you for the messages I've received last week. Got cough still lingering on, so if I ever mute myself and Matt goes into overdrive on talking, then you know what's gone on. I've got my glass of water, I've got my cough sweet, but I'm looking forward to discussing all things ITFC for the next 30 minutes as we build up to tomorrow's game at home to Leicester, 3 p.m. kickoff. Is it a must-win? Let us know in our comments. Watching on catch-up, FTA, comment for that algorithm. And before I go any further, a huge thank you to, of course, to Matt for standing in and holding the fort down oh so brilliantly while I have been laid up in, I was saying bed, but laid up unwell. It's truly appreciated. Great teamwork here at TT Towers. I know it's been a team effort. But yeah, so Leicester, Ipswich, Leicester, 3 p.m. Portman Road, the beautiful Portman Road. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Joe said if Ipswich don't win the next 3 games, then I think we're already relegated. No more lessons need to be learnt now. Only the lesson of what it feels like to win a game. Thank you very much, Adi. Appreciate that. Also, we've got a match reaction show tomorrow night after the game. All things going well. Cold air, cough. We all know how that works out. But if there is, or if there isn't, I want to say a huge thank you to this man on the screen right here, Adi Croucher. Without him, we couldn't do what we do. I won't go into specific details, and I don't want to embarrass poor Adi, but he has made us a brilliant contribution in helping us get the match reaction shows back up and running. If not tomorrow, certainly in future weeks. So, Adi, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you once again. It truly is appreciated. But yeah, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, who starts, how many points in November are Town gonna get? All of that wonderful business coming up. And as always, joined once again by Mr. Matthew Phillips. Matt, welcome back. How are you, sir? Thank you for holding the fort down so well.
Good, thanks. It's good to see you back in the hot seat. It's very difficult hosting, everybody. Don't let that go under the radar. Martin does a fantastic job, multiple times a week. So it's good. It's good to have you back. It's good.
Thank you. I'll tell you who else does a good job. Not me, because I missed out this in the opening league. Is of course SolarWise. Be wise this winter and autumn. Be SolarWise. Free roof checks from SolarWise. Right, they're based in Manning Street. They cover the whole of East Anglia. Get your free roof check. Felt, all of that, tiles. Get your free roof check done by accredited people from SolarWise Roofing and Building Services Limited. Give Shane a call. Tell him I have sent you. Martin, the Gov at Talking Town, has sent you. 01206 628 544. Don't just do roof checks. They do building work, groundwork, solar panels, although, obviously in November, you ain't going to want solar panels. I mean, you might want solar panels. I don't know. Give Shane a call. 01206 628 544, particularly for that free roof check. I'm not that good then, Matt. You see, I missed that out at the opening. I missed that out.
I only took a couple of takes, didn't I? When I was doing mine. Why is it so difficult? I don't know.
It is. I was laughing watching you do them as opposition when you were doing your intro, outro takes, because it is difficult. You write it down or you memorize it, and then you get into it, and then you make one mistake, and it's like, well, when you're live, you sort of just go with that mistake.
Yeah,
I can't get it back.
Infuriating. We got there in the end, though, didn't we? We muddled through.
You did do a wonderful job, and I can't thank you enough. And if you've not seen the media position yet, go and check it out. Obviously, we're here tonight to discuss the match preview. Leicester at Portman Road tomorrow at 3 p.m. kickoff. But, it's been a sad week in ITFC circles building up to the game, Matt.
It has. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We've lost 2 integral members of the ITFC family, one on the playing side, one on the fan side. Yeah, Trevor Wymark, 74, had dementia, Alzheimer's, I believe. It's very sad. We put in our tweet, didn't we? An all-time club great. I think he's a 6-time all-time goal scorer for Town. Was with Ipswich about 10 years plus maybe. So Colin is going to do a tribute show to Trevor on Monday evening with me. So make sure you tune into that because we want to celebrate a great life, a great career with Ipswich. So that's Trevor. And then Tom Tomalin, who was a well-known supporter of Town. He's someone I can remember, Martin, from as long as I've been going to Portman Road. I could remember him. I can remember when Sergei Baltachar made his debut for Ipswich, so the first Soviet Union player to play in the UK. And I'm pretty certain when we went all round to get his autograph at the end, Tom was there. I can picture him there. So that goes to that's late 80s, 89. 88, 89 maybe. So that shows you how long he'd been going. And, when my dad was alive, we'd often see Tom going up to the station, whatever, and he would chat to him, and we'd always like to say, you know, why he was kind of physically limited, his support for town was limitless. I mean, he chalked up thousands of miles watching Ipswich home and away by train. You speak to Colin, they recall him at games. Mike Woods will tell you exactly the same. So very sad that he's passed away, I believe, at 54. Just as a little aside to that, I've got on my bookcase upstairs a book which is probably the definitive biography of Charles Dickens, by a woman called Claire Tomerlin. It was only reading the obituary on Those Were the Days I realised that was Tom's mum, and that's like a a real gold standard biography,
Wow.
Historical British figure. So that's Tom's mum, and then I believe she's still alive. She's 90 something. So rest in peace, Trevor. Rest in peace, Tom. Won't forget you. And like I say, Colin will join me on Monday, and we will celebrate Trevor's town career.
Yeah, and obviously our condolences to the friends and family of both gentlemen. Simon says, Tom T, top guy. You see him a lot each week on the train for the past 30 years, and lots of blue hearts in our chat for both. A sad week. Turning obviously the attention to back onto tomorrow. Before we get there, we've had a nice little fuck it, I'm back. Fluff piece from the football club.
Yeah.
The interview, McKenna and Ashton, the interview, the fluff piece, you know, come on, it is.
Hold on a minute. He's come back here. He's high on medication. He's got all cynical. What's going on?
Yeah, come on. Is it not? Am I being cynical?
Well,
have I been in my bed
no,
all week?
I'm winding you up a little bit. I mean, like, they always land these things, don't they, at opportune times. So we're winless in 9, playing a side at home that came up with us from the Championship. It's going to be our 10th game. It just feels like a good time to sit down with the manager and chair / CEO to go through a few
/ cleaner / cafeteria cook / everything. I think at the moment, look, it's a really good interview. It's a really good interview with lots of interesting nuggets. But you could equally also still say it's a fluff piece. I think both things in this instance can be true.
Well, yes. Look, we laughed over this one, didn't we? I certainly aren't buying Mark Ashton's VAR criticisms, given the club had the option to join Wolves at the summer AGM and vote against it. And he says on the interview, a little bit of
regret there. Did you not sense a little bit of regret there that they did vote for it? But perhaps the Premier League had told them, this is what's going to be happening with VAR, and they feel like maybe they've, if you had a receipt, you might issue it right now, and so I'd like a refund, please.
Well, Mark said, didn't he, that they got given a presentation, they decided to go with it. But I would have. Well, who knows what the politics is behind the scenes? Obviously, Wolves put the motion forward that it should be gone. No one agreed with them because it was 19-1. But I would like to have seen Ipswich vote against it, just to make a stand. We've come out of an experience in the Football League where we don't have VAR, where the fan experience is much better. It's more to, leaning back to what is the pure form of the game without all the technology in there. I like technology in football, goal line tech. Yeah. I think the offsides thing is going to be very good. But, we've been on the wrong end of VAR. Look, the Everton game being one of them, and Harry Clark's sending off / penalty last week. I'd like to have seen us make a stand and go, we've not needed it over the last few years. We don't want it as part of our Premier League experience, and it would have been 18-2. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's really good that two people, two high-ranking officials at a Premier League football club have come out and said this. I don't see it very often in high-ranking officials across the Premier League that they come out and say, This detracts from our viewing experience. This takes away from those in the fans, that are in the stands. It might be great for those at home on TV. You get to watch it 400 million times in 8 different camera angles at microseconds.
Over 10 minutes.
In the stands, it detracts. I don't see it very often. So I think that's a fantastic piece. And obviously I tease being cynical about it, being a fluff piece. And I tease that ever so playfully. But it was a good piece, and that is really good to see 2 people at a football club come out and say that. You also got Cat 1 application, in the works. Great to hear as a football fan that the club are still.
That's really good. That's really good.
Still going ahead with that.
Look, we love Matty Holland as a player and everything, but his question did make me laugh. Why is it so important to have a really good training ground? Or something along those lines, wasn't it? Because we're not going to go down Cardinal Park and put out some cones and some jackets.
You mean you're not going to rock up to Ipswich Park and and you're going to be up and down that hill running 400 times, or a back of a supermarket somewhere.
What would be really good to know? I mean, they kind of touched on it, didn't they, with certain tech they'd put in there, that cryotherapy, is it, the freezing thing? Be really interested to know what's going in there that is part of the upgrade that isn't there at the moment. Because like you'll remember way back to Paul Lambert times, what was the selling point to the Ollie Hawkins and Di Cordell and Stephen Wald? Oh, it's a great training facility.
It was a great training level. At this level, it's not obviously. I mean, if you drive past Tottenham's training ground, which you don't ever see, you just see the entrance. It looks like an entrance to a 5-star all-inclusive resort. I think I even saw a palm tree. Don't quote me on that, but it certainly is a beautiful entrance. And if that's the entrance, obviously the training ground behind it's going to be magnificent.
Well, you remember
as well.
When we first started the show, I remember Leicester showcased their training ground, didn't we? Do you remember we did a video of it?
United as well.
We were like going, why can't we have something like this? Well, we're moving towards it. So I mean, as much as I always say this every time, because I often criticise Mark Ashton, but he is one of our greatest ever signings, and what he does off the pitch, I think, is phenomenal.
I really liked the Howard Webb line, but equally in equal measures
it's very easy to say that and then actually have to do it.
I agree. I liked it from a fan. Like, yes, Mark, you be calling Howard Webb at 3 a.m. on a Sunday going, where was my penalty?
Yeah.
But then I'd also question, why hasn't he heard already? I mean,
beating your chest a little bit, and it sounds good as a soundbite. Where I do believe him though is when he says he will, till his last breath, will defend the club. I certainly believe that. Yeah, absolutely.
And I liked his line, "Together as one." At the end, towards the end, we're always at our best when we're together, or something along those lines. I did write it down, as you know. I sent you meticulously good notes.
You did. Yeah.
Even with timestamps on it, ladies and gentlemen, of where
what's in this medicine? What's going on?
Where you can find this information. But I actually did really enjoy it. And as Eddie says here, I love the great view of the pitch. So did I. So when they want to bulldoze my stand, Mark, I've got a request to make. I'll have one of those seats.
You want one of those seats?
I can transfer my season ticket for a year or two to one of those seats there. It's a great view. I don't mind being towards an end for the first time in my life with that sort of view. It was good. The
only criticism I have on that interview, really, other than you think it was a bit of a fluff piece, is that unless you start winning, there's not going to be much mileage out of this. Because at the moment, you're already seeing McKenna, even in the press conference yesterday or today or whenever it was, kind of going over positives out of defeats. And I think that will wear very thin very soon. But of course, as we've said before on this very show, outside Portman Road in the post-match stuff, right? We are victims of our own success. And they say it there, don't they? We've got promoted very, very quickly. And that's why I don't feel like we got Joe coming in there and talking about got to get a win on it. It's why we can't be too critical, really, because we're in a position that no one really could have predicted. Because they talk about the recruitment of League One into the Championship. And I think they probably was thinking 2-3 seasons there and then make a run into the Premier League. Well, of course, go back to back. And now as I keep saying, we're out of our depth, really, which is no one's fault because of the success. So I don't want to be too critical, particularly, but.
And they said that, didn't they? You look at Brentford and Brighton, they had a number of years in the Championship where they could build that foundation. And when you go up, you perhaps need lesser players.
It's a great point.
As in, not lesser in quality, but lesser in quantity. But we are where we are. And I would never change our success or the story we've had for anything.
So enjoy this season, I think. If we do go down, then we go down. I said it in the summer, for me, it was a bit of a free pass. We're in a position where, look, we've arrived at Disney World and we didn't realise we had a ticket for it. So they just sort of turned up. So if we do get relegated back down, if worst case scenario, then we go down in a much stronger position than we was originally relegated and went into administration because the TV deal went arse over and we didn't have parachute payments. So we go into a much better position. But look, still a lot of games to go yet. Let's hope the town can start putting some kind of run together. It's going to be very difficult.
This is it. David has gifted 1 Talking Town membership. Thank you very much. And ITFC bid has raised the ante, gone with 10. He's gifted 10. That's 11 new people access to the Discord. Welcome aboard. Get the link in the community tab and become a part of a great conversation over on our 24/7 365 Discord. And David has also given us €50 super sticker. David, I love that. If we were using a new software that I've been playing around with this morning, we would have known about this 5 minutes ago and it would have gone absolutely balmy on us. I hope to bring it to you very soon. I'm still playing around with it, see if it's something we can mould to our use. Keep your eyes and ears peeled. You'll know it when you see it. It won't be a seamless transition to this software.
In Podfather mode. He's in Podfather mode, everybody.
It's amazing what being ill does to you. Gives you a chance to sort of refocus the mind a little bit. Tommy Lee, there you go. I was gifted a membership. Thank you very much. Big game tomorrow. Tommy Lee, welcome to the ITFC Talking Town community. We appreciate it. Alex, who plays tomorrow, get behind them. We need positive energy, not negative. Dominic Dean, new member. Welcome back, Dominic. I know you've been a member before. Welcome back. Glad you could join us once again. Tommy, you joined the Discord via a link, which will be posted on the community tab after this show. If it isn't, just leave a comment. Leave hundreds of comments on any show you can find.
That's a good point, actually, about the atmosphere and stuff, because he does have a little go at the fans there, Ashton, doesn't he? Off the back of the Everton game, I think. Got to make sure we start the second half with that kind of atmosphere. Well, we said it ourselves on the show, didn't we? It's flat as a pancake, wasn't it? We were 2 down. Never looked like getting back into the game, and like the energy just sapped out that Everton game, I think. That was the impression I got Ashton was making reference to. Well, it was our last
the notes I took. The notes I took were fans were immense. Nothing like Portman Road's atmosphere.
Yeah, they did all that. But there is that atmosphere line in now. He says it's got to start the second half of that kind of atmosphere. I mean, look, it was noticeable because we said it on the show, didn't we? It was flat second half against Everton. We was 2 down. People were disappointed.
So he needs to up the ante, do we?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Would you say we need to up the ante? Is that what you're saying?
I'd say bring them flamethrower things out. They walk out to. Bring them out.
Yes, please keep those through the winter because they are lovely. Literally, in the cobblestone, you just sort of hold that when warm your hands up. Talking of raising the ante, we are partnered with Match Bingo. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. Each time you play, you do support the crucial life-saving work of the East Anglian Air Ambulance. Download your app wherever you normally download your applications. £2 a bingo card. Bingo's on there as well. Over 18s only. Please be gamble aware. But play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. All the Premier League games will be on there this weekend, I believe. Also, as it's half time, like and subscribe. We're only I was looking earlier because I was playing around this new software and it tells you how many you are to 6,000. We're not 2% away we're at 98% of a target I put down earlier to 6,000, and it was like, this is great. Makes you feel so much better about yourself when you can see you're only 98% of a target complete. But please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button. Each time you do, I do a somersault, which is literally in my front room. If someone hits the subscribe button, Matt, I suddenly get off the sofa and just do a backflip or a somersault.
You want the new software to be like that thing they used to have on Blue Peter? Do you remember they used to have like a funding target? It used to go up, a line used to go up, didn't it? That's what we need on the side or something.
Do you know what you need? One of those generation game gondolas. The guy who's skiing up the top of the mountain. If you go too far,
yeah.
He fell down the other side, didn't he?
Yeah.
Bruce's Price is Right or whatever that was. All right, moving on to November. We have 4 games, 12 points up for grabs. Leicester at home, obviously tomorrow. Tottenham away. Manchester United at home. Here goes my voice. And Nottingham Forest away. 12 points. What are we saying in terms of points return-wise? I put it on Twitter and Facebook earlier. Magic Finbo said 2, and we'll be glad of them. Jim said 4. Martian said, I'll be over the moon with 4. Dow said 6. Pick up Dow. Thinks we're beating Man United. Ed, who obviously have a new manager by that point. Ed, 3 points. Alan, 3. Gary, 6. That's some of our X or Twitter member or users' predictions. What are your thoughts, Matthew Phillips?
Well, I mean, if you've watched the Meet the Opposition show that I did yesterday with Chris from Leicester, I've already given my prediction for that one. I said we'd win 2-1. That's based on a little bit of wishful thinking, to be honest with you. I mean, watched our defence, but we keep saying must win games are teams that could potentially be in and around us. And Leicester, listen, I said it, even yesterday, if Leicester win tomorrow, they can push into mid-table. And there's already Martin, like a bit of a gap forming between the bottom 3 or bottom 4, and then moving up to Everton and West Ham after. There's like a 4-point gap there, could be 7 potentially. So I feel like Leicester is a must win. So I hope we can do it. It feels like we have to do it. Hopefully that'll be enough, and we'll get the 3 points tomorrow. Can't see anything at Spurs. I think we'll get thumped there in similar fashion to what happened at West Ham. United, don't know about that one. We've had 2 close games with them, haven't we, in the last 2 meetings? They beat us 1-0 with that dodgy pen. And of course, who can forget Fabian Vilnius's goal when we took the lead against them, the 1-1.
Yeah.
So not sure. I would imagine they would probably beat us, to be honest with you. And I
It's in the
think
script too, isn't it? Sky Sports, Gary Neville, new
the new
manager in
gaffer.
charge. Roy
Yeah.
Keane will be in the studio.
Yeah.
It's in the script to get him off to a great start. You feel
All eyes. Yeah. You always say this, don't you? The new manager bounce always takes place against Ipswich, doesn't it? Either home or away, and here we have it. Why couldn't that's what Chris from Leicester said. Why couldn't Ten Hag have stayed? Leicester could have got into the quarterfinal of the League Cup. I think they'll have too much quality for us to think. And to be honest with you, I think we'll probably get beat at Forest. But look, this is all changeable. Depends what kind of performance we see between now and the end of the month. But Forest have looked pretty strong. They've breezed past Leicester themselves this time last week, 3-1. Chris Wood, good player. Didn't look like that for us, did he? He was on loan. That's going back a few years now, isn't it? But so 3 points is what I'm going for.
3 points.
I think it's going to be very difficult, man. I was working out today. I think we said this on the show previously, but the bottom three sides last season concede 267 goals, 104 of which I think is Sheffield United. So if you mean out the average of those three, that's 89 goals at the moment. And if you see what we've conceded at the moment, off the top of my head, I think 20 out of 9 matches. That means we're probably shaping up to concede at the moment on track 84, 85. And I think Luton got relegated last season conceding 85. And what was their points they got? 26, 28? We're looking at, well, if you're going to concede 80 plus goals, you're looking at a sub 30 points. So changes have to happen, and they've got to be in defence. They've got to be in defence. And we said that in the summer as well. You know, we'll see all these three relegated sides got in common. They conceded a shitload of goals, as I just explained. Yeah. So, I mean, it's got to change at the back four. Got to be better. It's just not Premier League quality. Obviously, it's different quality, isn't it, between Manchester City and the lower end of the Premier League. But as everyone keeps saying, and as we said, me and Rich Chandler said on Sunday, got to try and cut out these individual errors that are costing us, whether that comes from the keeper or in the fullbacks to stop a cross, or as a centre-back trying to head it away. But that's easier said than done, I think, against these sides. I think I said this last Sunday. It's going to take weeks, if not months, to eradicate, and then it could be too late. But you know, it's an unforgiving place, isn't it? The Premier League, when you're playing up against elite strikers like your Haalands, down to someone like Mbermo that we saw with Brentford last week.
Yeah, very unforgiving place. And I challenge that, actually, and it's not Premier League quality. With the metrics you've just told me beforehand, it is Premier League quality. It's just bottom 4, bottom 3 Premier League quality. And obviously, you want to be that 4th from bottom, 5th from bottom side. You've got to hope another side is just equally as bad as conceding goals. But we are going to be where we are going to be, which you feel is probably a bottom 6 side, isn't it? You know, we're not going to.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
transform into Burley's 2000 European side.
No, sadly, which is a shame.
Well, we're not, because the Premier League's different now. Premier League's different now.
Yeah, exactly. No, the reality of it is far different. I said outside Portman Road after every game, I couldn't see us getting anywhere near 40 points. Wouldn't mind getting near 14 points at the moment, Martin, let alone bloody 40.
Listen, a win changes the whole complex of things. You look at so many different things differently with one win on the board. You look at the gap at the moment and you think it's big with a win, and obviously the right results around you. It doesn't look as big, doesn't look as insurmountable. That confidence, just getting that first. I sound a bit like Ken Rash at the moment, but get that first win on the board, and it all look a little bit different. Charlie says 4 points. Colin says 6. Craig says 6. 7 from Dom. Imagine a world where Town gets 7 or 8 points in the next 4. I'd love that, Dom. 5 from 80. Keep the faces, Colin. All right, into the back sort of 5. First of all, goalkeeper. Gavin says, question, Gov, Matt, would you play Walton in goal? Who's in goal for you tomorrow, Matt? Murich or Walton? Make it nice and quick and easy. Who's this? Yeah,
still Murich for me. Why does everyone think everyone wants Walton because he's not Murich? But I don't think Walton's great shakes, to be honest with you. And he's only really he didn't play in the Championship when he's only played League One football, really. So I don't know why everyone suddenly thinks he's a better option than Murich, because Murich is making mistakes. If you're making mistakes, people want you gone. And if you're making great saves against Brighton, people want you to stay in. So I mean, he can't really win either way, Murich. So he needs to have a 10 out of 10 blinding performance tomorrow, and we win 3 points, and everyone will be happy with him. He has a shit performance, lets the goal in last seconds. People want Walton in. Newsflash, Walton ain't that great either. That's why I don't think he's gone to another club, to be honest with you. But
yeah, and that's
just my take.
Everyone wanted Ladke back, and he can't get on Burnley's side. So
exactly.
And I heard the argument about Trafford, but if Hladky was head and shoulders above Trafford, they'd obviously play Hladky. You know,
Yeah,
no manager ever says, "Oh, I can't play a goalkeeper because my other goalkeeper who costs a lot of money is still here." Because he wasn't Scott Parker's signing Trafford, by the way.
no, he was
So
he was
there's no
company,
tie there.
wasn't
Yeah,
he?
it's
Yeah,
company. So there's no
yeah.
ties there. You know, so I look
Other
at the
than they
situation.
spent the money, other than they
Yeah, but
spent quite a lot of money on
isn't
him.
his signing? So
Yeah.
if you know if it was clear and obvious that Hadlaki was head and shoulders above Trafford, he'd be playing. It might. That's how I see it.
Well, I mean, Walton wasn't a McKenna signing. Muric is. If you're going on that, if you're going on that logic, I suppose. I think it's a big thing, isn't it, to change your keeper, just because it's such a pivotal role. I think. Look, he didn't cover himself in glory against Brentford last week. Yeah, made some good saves, but everyone remembers the error at the end, and it was really annoying. It's cost us a vital point when we're talking how difficult it is to get points. It's cost us a vital point, really, in the day. But he don't need me to tell him that. He knows that himself. He'd been told that by his colleagues in the dressing room. Because I felt so sorry for all of them putting such a shift to score for, like McKenna said, to go to a Premier League side, established one in Brentford at the moment, and score 3 goals away. Really good effort. It amounted to nothing, and they deserved a point, really, at the very least. So it was gutting, really. But there we go. I think he'll keep Muric.
I agree, and I would as well. Dow says Muric was one of the points and also lost the points. Makes a howler on Saturday. Then what? Well, that's a conversation you make after if or when he does. I feel, obviously we'll move on very quickly because obviously time pushing on, but I just feel like goalkeeper is strangely that one position out of 11 where it's very difficult to make a change without saying, well, that's it now until XYZ. Like Hurst and Delap, for example. Like, we'll get onto our strikers in a moment, but Hurst started last week. Will Delap start this week? That'll be a conversation you have. But when a player is dropped on the outfield, you feel it's not a permanent. But whenever if you said to me, is he dropping Muric tomorrow? I would feel, well, if he does, is that it for the season? Like, unless there's an injury, it feels like there's no going back with the guy, doesn't there?
Yeah, exactly. It does a little bit, and unless you are kind of like rotating them around, which I know Brighton have done previously. And that's kind of like an accepted thing. But yeah, you just got to think back to when Bart got dropped by Paul Hurst and then come Gherkin in the Stanley derby. Do you remember? That was like a huge moment. Yeah, and you're right. Exactly. I mean, what does Walton have to do in order for Muric to come back into the side? So I think you save yourself a headache. And, you know, Muric has had some really bad moments and he's had some good ones as well. So, I mean, it depends whether you think it's half glass full, glass half empty with him, I suppose. Certainly, he didn't instill any confidence in the Town fans, I think, in the last seconds of that Brentford game. Bloody annoying.
Yeah. We've got such into the conversation, and without our new software making jingles, Dominic Dean has gifted us 5 Talking Town memberships. Dominic, sorry I missed it, and thank you ever so much for your generosity. It's really appreciated. I was listening to Matt warble on about Sutton. I don't know what he was talking about at the time.
Going on about goalkeepers, for God's sake.
Just going on about Sutton, but I'm sorry I missed it. I really am. Okay, back 4. Who's obviously David's at left back? That's an easy one. Who's the other 3 then from you, Matt, please? Nice and quick.
We haven't got Harry Clark. Rumour is that Johnson might be back tomorrow. He's been training.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I like that. Yeah.
I don't mind it. I don't mind Johnson. At least he's actually a true right back, I think. But he's not spectacular, is he, particularly? That said, of course,
I was saying to me, Mum, earlier, you've got to give these guys a chance. You know, you can't be walking to Pump Road tomorrow going, oh, Johnson's at right back. Oh,
yeah,
I don't like him, or I don't rate him. These were sort of, some of the things. And I'm thinking, you've got to give this guy a chance. You've got to give him a chance.
No, I agree with that. And he has had a lot of Premier League experience at West Ham, isn't he? Albeit over a few seasons. But what was it, 60-odd appearances, maybe even more? But yeah, he's not particularly spectacular. Then again, what was one of the great moments of the season thus far? Him putting the through ball to Smodix to score at City. So, he's had his moments. So, yes, I think that at least that's a square peg round hole. If Johnson goes into that right back berth there, don't know about. I'm sure he's out for me on O'Shea, to be honest with you. After last week, should have headed that ball away from me for the winner. Now, and then that leads into the conversation around Muric, doesn't it? So he didn't do him a favour there. Wolfenden seems to be in and out, doesn't he, since Fulham? Not sure. To be honest with you, Martin, if he was fit, I'd have Twanzebe in that right centre-back berth, and I'd have Johnson on the right. That'd be it. So no, he's not fit. So I'm probably going to go with Dara, to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay. So Johnson, Dara, who's playing with him?
Burgess,
okay, because Greaves is back after the international break, or expected back after the break. So you're going to Burgess.
The sooner he gets back, the better. Yeah, a lot of people quite thought Burgess did all right last week. He did all right. All right doesn't seem to be enough, though. for Ipswich in the
No,
Premier League. I mean,
no,
whatever
that's
we
true.
seem to do, we go to Brentford and score 3 goals. That still wasn't enough. You know, we scored 2 against Villa at Pullman Road. It still ain't enough. Do you know what I mean? We take the lead at Man City. That weren't enough.
Yeah.
So all right isn't really doing it for us at the moment. So the sooner Greaves gets back in, the better, I think. And Burgess was slow in that equalising goal for Brentford. He was stuck in midfield and he's still bleeding there, I think, running back. But I don't want to have a go at him too much because he scored the goal at Coventry, which is one of the reasons we're talking Premier League football
Absolutely.
now. So,
Talking of midfield.
He's played his part.
Talking of midfield.
Midfield?
Sorry, I keep cutting across you. Can I be? He is back, but can I be unexpected and say I'm tempted to stick with Coyist and Phillips?
I do get that.
Let me just rephrase that. If Morsey's fully fit, he plays. No questions. He's the heartbeat of the football team. He's the captain.
You liked those 2 last week, didn't you?
But I did like those 2 last week. Now, if Morsey's fully fit, I start Morsey. But he's back in training. Was he ill? Was he injured? I've been ill myself, so I've not really kept up to date.
Was a hamstring against Everton.
Was a hamstring. So if there's any lingering doubt there
could be.
I don't risk it personally. With a break coming up soon, with Spurs on the horizon, a tough away game. You really want your skipper on for those sorts of fixtures. But then again, also
one yellow left.
This is it. All these different things come into play. But what do you say?
I did like Houston Phillips, and I certainly thought Phillips played really well last week. And I've been, as I said last Sunday with Crystal Ball, been very critical of him. It was great to see him back. Look, we want Calvin Phillips to be a 10 out of 10 player, like we want Muric, because then we're going to start doing things. If you actually get a player who's worth 45 mil, whatever it is, playing at that level, it'd be fantastic. And the ball through for the first goal, I think it was the first goal, was a fantastic ball from Phillips. Vintage Calvin Phillips, circa Euro 2020. So that was great to see. Cahoust, I think, had not really trained leading up to that Brentford game and been injured or had knocks and stuff since Southampton. Correct, when the last time we saw him, and he looked like he was struggling when he came off. Now, whether or not he's had the week to recover, don't know. I do agree with what you're saying about Morsey and trying to just be sensible with him, knowing you've got Spurs and Manchester United coming up, international break as well. You don't really want to aggravate a hamstring. It must be pretty bad if Morsey's injured. It's like bloody Teflon, like Terminator normally, isn't he? So for him to go down with an injury like Matty Holland, few and far between missing appearances. So I think maybe Morsey might return. Hard one to say. Oh, Jack Taylor was ill last week. Does he come back into the frame?
No, he's not back to after the break, I believe.
He's not back till after the break. Okay.
No.
So I think it will be Morsey and Phillips. Is what I'm
just to make you aware. Obviously, right at the bottom of one of Phil's TWTD articles, it says Twanzebe, Jack Taylor, and Greaves, both hamstring, are all expected back after the international break. Very likely so. So
they'll be back for Manchester United. That's good. Good.
Axel being back is probably the best one out of the whole 3, if I'm honest. And I like the other 2. It's like, wow, Axel's coming back. It's great.
I'd like to see, like I said earlier, I'd like to see Axel playing that right centre half. That is his true position, really. We forced him into a right back because of the lack of other options. And he's such a good player. He's done all right there. But really, he's, where did he play for Man United? Played his right centre half.
So you're going Morsey and Phillips. I would go, if there's any doubt on the hamstring, Phillips on Coyes. The 3 ahead of him, I would go Chaplin in the middle, Sammy Schmodix. And Amari on the right. Yeah,
I'd go with that 3. I mean, look, Chaplin gets an assist. It was a lovely through ball to Hurst last week, wasn't it? And we pondered last Sunday whether or not was it Schmodix or Chaplin that came in for Amari, and McKenna let it slip, didn't he? Chaplin comes in for Amari after he got taken ill. Not easy to get the captain's armband. I knew he was going to be the captain if it weren't him. And he gets an assist as well. So I think he did enough last week, Chaplin. And we look very good going forward for the slapstick in defence and the defensive frailties. We look very good going forward. We look like the team that we'd seen in the Football League that scores nearly 200 goals in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Just we defended like Forest Green Rovers. That was the only problem. So, yes, I would keep that. That's the 3 for me. That's the 3 for me. Yeah, I agree with you.
He'll probably go Burns though, won't he?
We'll wait and see. I mean, look, again, it's the impact for the bench, isn't it? If you make the sub, look, one of your criticisms, isn't it? McKenna doesn't make subs quick enough. If the game is getting away from us slightly, or it's deadlocked at 1-1 or 0-0 or whatever, make that impact sub. And if Wes does start, bring on Amari and get him running at the fullbacks. Is what I'd be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Striker, Hurst or Delap? I mean,
Difficult one,
it's a no-brainer still for me.
They both scored last week.
As good as Hurst has been, Matt.
Yeah, I agree.
Like last week, it's
still
a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And we said on the Meet the Opposition show with Chris. Look, Chris Wood scores 2 goals for Forest against Leicester. Very similar built kind of striker to Delap. So I was very interested to see how they coped with him in and they gifted him a couple of goals, Leicester, to be honest with you, at the King Power. So yeah, I think if fit, then Liam starts.
Okay.
100%.
Lee says, "What's happened with Broadhead?" I just think we are at the moment. It's a very difficult situation, isn't it? Because obviously, Broadie is a great player, needle mover, as we call him.
Yeah, the needle mover. Yeah, that's
the
right.
problem is the needle's moved again, and now you've got ahead of him is Jack Clark, arguably. Sammy Schmodic, who's obviously got 2 goals to his Town Premier League career. It's a difficult place to break into, that left-hand side all of a sudden.
Yeah, it is. It is, isn't it? And now he's competing with a Jack Clark who's come for serious money for us anyway. And, all the, the reputation that he's got coming out of the Football League. And who else starts on that side? Last season's Championship top scorer. So it's going to be very, very difficult for him. And I'm not sure. But I mean, look, injuries at the moment, who knows what's around the corner? He might get an opportunity. Main Broadhead, he'll probably be the one who gets injured. It's like bloody frustrating, but I mean, that's how his Town career is. He arrived injured, didn't he? So his Town career.
That bed. Dow, I saw someone comment Hurst up top, Delap on the right. Now it's a curveball. You've seen a few people comment this, Matt. What are your thoughts? I've got my own personal thought, but what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, I don't really get that. I mean, look, we know Delap can play on that side because he did for whole last season. But then who are you bringing on from the bench to play in the 9 after 60 minutes, whatever? Al Hamidi? It's a bit harsh on Al Hamidi, that. Again, we talk about how quickly Ipswich have grown. He's gone from League 2 straight to the Premier League. It's unbelievable. And he's while he'll give you all the endeavour and everything, he ain't good enough to play that role. So no, one of those two's got to be on the bench tomorrow. Probably Hurst, and Delap will start, I would have thought.
If you forget about the numbers game in terms of strikers, if they both start, who's coming off the bench or what you're doing up front. It just feels like the time Paul Jewell stuck Daryl Murphy on the left for 4 years. And the moment a manager arrived who saw him as a striker, we suddenly saw, Daryl Murphy turn into, Lionel Messi in front of goal and everything he touched turned to goals. Now, obviously, there's a few years in between. Now, there's a few years in between those 2 moments happening. But it just feels like you've got this powerhouse of a striker who's really in form. Everything he touches either is a goal or a post being struck. And we want to shove him on the right just to say we've got 2 strikers on the field. If you're going to go with 2 strikers, then go with 2 strikers. Be a bit Mike Bassett, 4-4-2. Be old school, right? Play with 2 strikers.
Yeah.
Don't play with 2 strikers and then shove one out on the right like we did with Darren Murphy for 4 years on the left.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
It doesn't feel like it doesn't like what we're doing. What's our plan of attack here? What's the why behind the action?
Yeah. It's a team. People haven't been leaking a team out again, have they? We spoke about this last Sunday. Just don't get it. Do any other clubs get their teams leaked out like Ipswich do? I don't really get it. But
I'll tell you what, if the lad plays right on the right tomorrow and scores hat-trick, I'll be first on Sunday's show.
Yeah, we'll be jumping on that bandwagon, won't you?
I just feel like you're detracting his own. At the moment, he's red hot. Hot.
Yeah,
just leave
exactly.
him.
What has he got? It's 5 goals, isn't it? It's 5 in 9 games. 1 from the bench. I mean, look, you're talking about him playing on the right-hand side. One of my favourite goals of his was the one against Villa, when he comes in on the left and hits it across Martinez, didn't he? To make it 2-2. No, they've got to play essentially in Amari and Burns. But I mean, look, who knows what the future might bring? We already know, like McKenna said, look, Benny's now out for the season, which is really bad news for him. So, rotation out of that right-hand side is going to be Burns and Amari, unless one of them gets injured. And then you might have to see a few selections like you're talking about there. But at the moment, down the middle for me.
Yep. Dominic Dean, that could be our 2024 Marcus Stewart.
I think you might have to be. We're going to do anything.
106 in the chat. Come on. Let's get the stream to 50 likes and I'll give 10 more memberships. Someone hit the like button right now. All those that are watching, hit the like button. It's free. It costs you absolutely nothing and you might get a free membership from ITFC Bid, which is worth its weight in gold. Dowd says, Smollett has to play for me. He will get us goals. Great conversations. Loving it. All right. Score prediction, and then we're out of here. Only 10 minutes over my hard 30-minute target this evening.
Might want to do half hour of one because of his voice. We're already in Fergie time. I've already told you, man. I think we're going to, well, I'm hoping we're going to win 2-1 is what I'm hoping for. It's going to be like climbing Everest if we don't get a win tomorrow. I mean, I know McKenna downplayed it in the press conference, but, just the gap that's going to be forming. I mean, look, at the moment we're in 18th, 4 points, Everton in 16th on 9. And you remember when we was last in a relegation zone, when we got relegated out of the champ in 18, 19, 5, 6, 7 points. We couldn't overturn that at that level. We won't be able to overturn it, I don't think, in the Premier League. We just haven't got first of all, we haven't got the squad at the moment because of the injuries. And, and we haven't got the quality of some of those sides down there, like Everton and look, Palace even beat Spurs last week. Do you know what I mean? I think they're in a false position at the moment. So, look, we don't want to be relying on others. We want to keep it in our own hands. And Leicester does feel like a very winnable game tomorrow. I just hope we can do it.
Great question from Simon. There is no survivor this week on account of me being in bed all week, and I've not had a chance to.
That's 2 weeks missed.
Oh yeah, all right. The first week because I was busy.
That's only critical, isn't it? Not another week.
The second week is because I was so busy. The first week, I've been so terribly ill. But no, I've been too unwell to look at the Excel spreadsheet. Today was the first day I've been more or less myself.
He'll get it back. He'll get it back for next time.
Yeah.
Next week.
Don't forget, it's always been half term. So I've had to do some dad stuff during this week.
Of course. Yeah.
Try, dad stuff when you're really, really, really ill, right? It ain't good.
Yeah. It's a long day, that.
Louis' theme tune pierces the eardrums. It goes straight through the skull. It's really not great. All right, a few minutes left. We'll finish on 45. So there's 3 left. I'll get some score predictions. 2-1 says that David, Town win. David gone for a Town win. Stop the press.
If people have watched Meet the Opposition, Leicester, I didn't know this. I don't know why I didn't know this, but Chris told me they've scored in every game this season. Leicester.
That's good. They'll score tomorrow when they lose 3-1. Mike D 1-0. Yeah. Gavin Law 4-1. Charlie says 1-0. Ali says 2-1. Lots of Town positivity. So are there team leaks then? Just to finish the show with a minute and a half. Are there team leaks? No, I've been away from this.
Well, how does the side that's pretty much nailed on the Friday, when you see it announced at 1:45 on a Saturday, has been on Twitter or whatever. So I'm told. At 24 hours before, something's going on.
Do they know who's doing this?
I don't know. I think I have absolutely no idea. I mean, look, it doesn't do the club any favours at the moment, does it? I mean, look, you're in the bottom 3 and the side's out. But as we said last Sunday, people want to be in the know. They want the validation of, look, I'm in the inner circle, or I know people that's in the inner circle, and here's the side, and look at my account and like it, and blah blah blah. Just a load of old bleeding nonsense, like you and me say, Martin. 1:45. We'll see what the side is. Why does everyone need to know in advance? Certainly not the opposition.
What's the point?
Yeah, I don't really get it. I don't really get it. But that's just my take on it anyway. You're not coming from journalists, is it? It's coming from supporters.
Well, no, of course it ain't coming from journalists. No, because they just find themselves, outside the media room looking in the window. If they, if they were leaking sort of press, leaking the team. But of course it ain't coming from, accredited journalists. No, I can't get made around it. Every time you've brought it up over the last week, either on last Sunday's show or I've seen it mentioned, my tiny brain, I can't. Why? Why would you know the team?
Difficult enough being in the Premier League at the moment anyway, and being in the relegation zone, and then having your McKenna's side put out well in advance of the 1:45 announcement on the Saturday.
I can't see it being information you need to know. It's not like the lottery numbers. Now, if you've got the lottery numbers, people, right? If Guinevere set of balls free is being done this Saturday evening, and you've got the 6, I will follow your account to the end of the earth. Trust me.
Well, people just want to be right, don't they? That's what I say. Like this one.
But what do you get for being right? I mean, as my old dad just said to me, what do you want? The middle?
Exactly. Yeah. They just want the plaudits. But that's social media for you. Look at me culture. That's what it is. And for whatever reason, to the detriment of Ipswich, I feel the team's getting out there.
Maybe we should do that as a Talking Town community. Get some medals drawn up. You guessed the team right on Friday night. Start handing them out to people, couldn't we?
Come to the stats.
Got your medal.
Day, get your medal.
Yeah.
Actually,
Get your medal.
we have given medals out before. What was that for?
Yeah, for legitimate reasons, not for having the team on a Friday evening.
Oh, was it for the like prediction league or something? Was it that?
Yeah, prediction league. Yeah, courtesy of Matchday. We had some stuff.
Yeah, that's right. That was good.
Some stuff. Yeah. So okay. Anyway, we're done. For tonight's show, we are looking for moderators for our Discord channel. Well, I say we. I am looking for a moderator or two for our Discord. So if you are a YouTube member on our Discord and think, you know what, I'd be a moderator. I'd keep my eyes and ears on the place for the gov. Please let us know because I can't be on there.
We watching Blue for one thing, isn't you?
Well, I can't. I was going to say I can't be on there for 2, let alone 24 out of the 7 hours, out of 7 days. So yeah, I need help. I'm not proud enough. I'm not too proud to say, you know. But yeah, ITFC Beard. Beard, if you want to be a mod, mate, we'll set you up because I need help in policing it, particularly as we're gifting memberships. You know,
we don't actually know where some of these supporters are coming from because we've already had a few people coming in, haven't we? From other clubs.
I was thinking more as numbers go up, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
I need people to
they might not always have Ipswich's best interests at heart. That's the problem, isn't it?
Well, forget that.
Because the memberships are randomised in the selection, aren't they?
I've just got rules and I like rules to be applied. That's all. Yeah. Like, you know, but I need help anyway. Thank you. So I thought I'd drop it in there. But we're done. He's Matthew Phillips. We're live tomorrow night at full time outside Portman Road. So do join us then for one of our match reaction shows. Until then, thank you for watching. Thank you to Dominic, to David, and to ITFC Beard, potentially ITFC Beard mod in the future. Watch this space. But yeah, thank you for their wonderful, kind contributions. As I said at the top of the show, thanks to AD as well. And last word to Metal Jace, who's also one of our F1 fans. He does it every time the F1 show. He does it every time here. Doesn't say much as Metal Jace, but right at the end always says, thanks, guys. I truly appreciate that. Streakies, I can't be a mod. Hey, well, that's fine by me. I don't mind you binning people for being negative. We can mute them, not bin them. We'll just mute them.
That'd be me, Gottman.
Yeah. In that case, please do apply, Streaky. But anyway, until tomorrow, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Oh, and Stowmarket Osteopaths, I'm on 449-613-633. Don't live life in pain. Give Freddie a call. Tell him the governor sent you. I want 449-613-633. He's going to bend my back a little bit more next week, and for missing him off the end of the show.
Oh, dare you forget me.
He's doing extra click or two. Click, click, click. Bye-bye. Crazy from just the thought of you.